There are some excellent limited time sign-up bonuses that are currently being offered on some really popular credit cards. And I've compiled a list of the top 5 best credit card sign-up bonuses for November 2022. So if you're looking to apply for a new credit card in November and you're looking for a credit card that has a high welcome bonus, well then you've come to the right place, because in this video, I'm going to give a full in-depth review of the top 5 credit cards with the best welcome bonuses. So as always, we're just gonna jump right into the video. So make sure to hit that like button and subscribe down below, as it helps support the channel and I would really appreciate it. But without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Basically, for my list of the top 5 credit cards with the best welcome bonuses, I'll go over some key characteristics of each of these welcome bonuses, but then I'll also get into some of the long-term value that you can get from each of these credit cards. So the first credit card on my list for the best welcome bonuses in November 2022 is going to be the Marriott Bonvoy Boundless card. The Marriott Bonvoy Boundless has an annual fee of $95, but then that card is offering a welcome bonus of 3 free nights, each valued up to 50,000 points, if you're able to spend $3,000 or more in the first 3 months. According to the points guy, Marriott Points typically have a value of about 0.8 cents per point, so those 150,000 bonus points that you could get from the 3 free night certificates could give you a value of $1,200. Since this card only has an annual fee of $95, the value that you could get from the welcome bonus could cancel out the annual fee that you need to pay on this card for the first 12 years of having the card. And then, since the spend requirement for the welcome bonus is $3,000 and the total value that you were able to get from the welcome bonus would be $1,200, then this card would give you a super high return on spend of 40%. In terms of some of the long-term value that you were able to get from the Marriott Bonvoy Boundless, this card is going to give you some solid point multipliers of 6x back at Marriott properties, 3x back on the first $6,000 in combined purchases for dining, gas stations, and grocery stores, and then 2x back on everything else. One thing that you do need to consider is that while those point multipliers are really good, the points that you earn from those multipliers are going to be Marriott points, so they're going to be a lot less flexible than like Chase or American Express points. The Marriott Bonvoy Boundless can also be considered a keeper card because you'll get a free night certificate on your card member anniversary every single year, and that free night certificate is going to be valued up to 35,000 Marriott points. If we apply that value of 0.8 cents per point, then the value that you could get from that free night certificate would be $280. And remember, this card only has an annual fee of $95, so you'd get more value than the fee that you pay on this card every single year. Alright, so if we move on to the second card on my list for the best welcome bonuses in November 2022, that second card is going to be the Chase Sapphire Reserve. The Chase Sapphire Reserve has an annual fee of $550, but then this card is also offering a limited time elevated sign-up bonus, in which you'll receive 80,000 points if you're able to spend $4,000 or more in the first 3 months. At the very minimum, you'll be able to redeem your Chase points for 1 cent per point, because that's the value that you would get if you redeem them for straight cash back, and that would mean that the 80,000 points that you got on this welcome bonus would give you a value of $800. But with the Chase Sapphire Reserve, you'll be able to get 50% high redemption value when you book travel through the Chase portal. So if you were able to use the points that you earn on this welcome bonus and then redeem travel through the Chase portal, then those points would give you a value of $1,200. And that $1,200 value would be enough to cancel out the annual fee that you need to pay on this card for the first 2 years of having it. However, while that is a solid redemption option, the best redemption option is still going to be to transfer out your points to Chase's travel partners. So if you're able to take the points that you earn on this welcome bonus and then transfer out those points to Chase's travel partners, then you could get a value of at least 2 cents per point, which would make those 80,000 points have a value of $1,600. And that $1,600 in value that you get from the welcome bonus would be enough to cancel out the annual fee on this card for around the first 3 years of having the card. In terms of some of the long-term value that you were able to get from the Chase Sapphire Reserve, one key benefit is that you'll get a $300 annual travel credit, which will basically be used for any travel-related expenses. If you were able to get the full value from that credit, which I think most people will, then you can lower your effective fee on this card down from $550 to just $250. And then the Chase Sapphire Reserve will also give you some other benefits, such as lounge access through Priority Pass, some travel protections, and then that 50% high redemption value for booking travel through the Chase portal. Next up, the third credit card on my list is going to be the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant, which is the luxury travel card within the Marriott ecosystem. The card was recently revamped, so the annual fee was increased from $450 to $650. But the welcome bonus was also increased, and so for a limited time until mid-January, you're going to be able to receive an elevated welcome bonus offer of 150,000 Marriott points if you're able to spend $5,000 or more in the first 3 months of having the card. As I mentioned earlier, according to the points guide, Marriott points have a value of 0.8 cents per point, which would mean that those 150,000 Marriott points would have a value of about $1,200. Since the Bonvoy Brilliant now has an annual fee of $650, the value that you get from this card would be enough to cancel out the fee that you need to pay on this card during the first 2 years of having the card. And then since the spend requirement for the welcome bonus is $5,000 and the value that you can get from the welcome bonus is $1,200, that would represent a return on spend of 24%. But now if we take a look at some of the long-term value that you can get on this card, the point multipliers on the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant are going to be 6x back at Marriott properties, 3x back on dining, 3x back on flights, and then 2x back on everything else. The main credit that you'll get with this card is going to be a $300 dining credit, which will be split up into $25 monthly increments, and it can be used for any restaurants worldwide, so it is going to be really valuable. Additionally, you'll also get a free night certificate on your card member anniversary every single year, which is going to be valid for any stays at Marriott properties on up to 85,000 points. Since Marriott points have a value of about 0.8 cents per point, that free night certificate could give you a value of about $680, which by itself, this benefit would be more than the fee that you pay on this card every year. And then the last main credit that you'll get with the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant is that you'll get a $100 property credit. That's going to only be if you book a stay of 2 nights or more at a Ritz-Carlton or St. Regis property. So because of that, this credit won't be as valuable. Finally, the 4th and 5th credit cards on my list are 2 of my favorite credit cards, and I know I have talked about these cards a lot, but these cards did just get a refresh welcome bonus, and those cards are going to be the Chase Freedom Flex and Chase Freedom Unlimited. Both the Freedom Flex and the Freedom Unlimited do not have annual fees, and then the current welcome bonus on those cards is going to be to receive $200 cash back and 5% back on grocery stores during your first year, if you were able to spend $500 or more in the first 3 months. So first of all, that $200 cash back is actually going to be given to you in the form of 20,000 Chase points, but is an important thing to note because you can actually get significantly more value than $200 from the Chase points. Basically, if you have a card like the Chase Sapphire Preferred or Chase Sapphire Reserve, then you can transfer those 20,000 Chase points out to Chase's travel partners, which would allow you to get at least 2 cents per point in redemption value, which would mean that those 20,000 Chase points would give you a value of $400. Also, this welcome bonus might look familiar because the only thing that changed on this welcome bonus is that instead of receiving 5% back on gas stations during your first year, you'll instead receive 5% back on grocery stores. Whether getting 5% back on grocery stores instead of gas stations is better is really just going to come down to your own spending preferences, but I think we can all agree that getting 20,000 Chase points and 5% back on grocery stores is going to be a great welcome bonus for a no annual fee credit card. In terms of the long-term value that the Chase Freedom cards can provide, even though they do not have annual fees, they still can provide you with some solid long-term value. Both of the Chase Freedom cards are going to give you elevated multipliers of 5x back on travel booked through the Chase portal, 3x back on dining, and 3x back on drugstores. And then the Chase Freedom Flex will have the additional perk of getting 5% back on rotating quarterly categories, and the Chase Freedom Unlimited will have the perk of getting 1.5x back on everything. So the 5 credit cards that I discussed in this video are all cards that are offering some really solid welcome bonuses, but they all offer some long-term value as well. But you don't want to get one of these cards and then miss out on getting the welcome bonus. So make sure you watch this video next because it'll go over some strategies on how to make sure that you'll hit the welcome bonus on your new credit card. And if you saw the limited time higher welcome bonus on the Chase Sapphire Reserve and you're thinking about getting that card, then watch this video next because in this video, I'll go over a comparison of the Amex Platinum to the Chase Sapphire Reserve. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope you all have a great day. Peace.